really gotta stop doing these videos without a haircut. What's the deal? Today I want to talk to you about 3 decisions that completely changed my life in my 20s. This video in particular is for people that are either teenagers, in high school, graduating high school, going to college, maybe they're in college currently, ages 18 to 25. If you're in your 30s, I really ain't got shit for you because I'm not 30. I'm 27 years old. Getting straight into it, one of the first decisions that completely changed everything was joining the military. Joining the military forced me to get out of my comfort zone. It took me out of my hometown. It forced me to meet different people and just experience different cultures. I met people from the Philippines, people from Africa. I met people that were homeless before they joined. And it's just crazy seeing the different types of life people experience before they join. You start realizing that the world around you is way bigger than just your hometown. I mean, you would think that's obvious, but a lot of people don't know to the extent that it really matters until you get around different people. I worked with a girl who literally came from a small island, and she had to get up every morning and take her little brothers down to whatever road to go pick up water, and they physically had to carry the water back to like their little hut that they had just to drink water and just to take a shower. Like there's a lot of things that we take for granted that people don't have the luxury of having. Another thing is it'll help you see the real world. I feel like elementary, middle, and high school is kind of like a simulation in a way. The same thing with college, because I feel like every day is just basically you just getting up, going to class, you do your 8 hours in school, and then boom, you go home. You do whatever you do. You might play the game, or maybe you brain rot on TikTok, or you get on social media, or whatever. But I feel like everything you do between the ages of 0 and like 19, 20, 21, it really doesn't matter. But one thing the military did is just stripped all that away. It just got straight to business, because at the end of the day, life, everything is business. Everything's going to be work. It's going to be work, work, work for the rest of your life until we die. And it's a sad reality when you really think about it, but like this is the real world. And a lot of people have a hard time adjusting to the real world once they get out of college, and that's why they have no sense of direction, because they didn't realize this is how things were going to go. But I feel like experiencing that early on, experiencing that kind of pain of like, yeah, it's really just me out here in the world at 18, it really set me up to stay ahead of my peers, because a lot of people I know don't really know how to live on their own. They really haven't been out in the world. They haven't left home. And they can easily just call on their parents and get stuff done. But when you don't have your parents near you, you got to figure it out. Another thing the military did is give you a sense of direction. If you don't know where you want to go in life, trust me, the military is going to make you go somewhere. They're going to make you get in formation during boot camp. They're going to tell you to go that way. You're going to go that way. The military does a really good job of kind of setting up your career, and it really tells you exactly what path to go down. It literally will write everything down that you will need to achieve whatever you want to achieve. So for example, let's say you want to join and you want to be a pilot. Well, the military is like, okay, you got to finish basic first. And after basic, you got to do your career development courses. I don't know how it is now. It might be different. I've been out for a while. Once you finish your career development courses, you can go to school. Once you start school, you finish your degree, you apply for officer training school, you get accepted. And after you get accepted, you go through that training process. You make it out of officer training school, then it might send you to pilot school. And after pilot school, you do however many hours of that. And then from there, boom, you graduated, you a pilot. Okay, it might not be that simple, but the thing is, the military will lay out everything that you have to do step by step. And once you fulfill that, you're guaranteed to end up where you want to be in life. Now, there's other things that come in a factor, like your leadership, the job you end up in, the base you go to. But there's plenty of resources out there that help you get to where you want to go. Now, out in the real world, it might not be that easy. The real world being like the regular civilian world. A lot of what goes on in the regular world is really connection-based and money-based. But a lot of us coming straight out of high school, going to college, we don't have any money and we don't have any connections. All we got is the people from back at home. Now, you might have the privilege of knowing somebody from your hometown, or maybe your dad or your mom's well connected, but everyone doesn't have that privilege. And one thing that can put you ahead of those people that have the privilege of having these connections is you go to the military and you get some real skills, and that'll put you ahead of a lot of people. Another thing the military will do is it'll put you in work mode early. Like I was saying earlier, life is work, and this is what it's going to be unless you find a way out. But even once you find a way out of the race, you're just back into another race and you're working again. But I feel like it encourages more of a working environment than college does. I feel like I went to college too, but I feel like college more enforces a lot of that same stuff from when we were in school. You know, you just go to class, and after class, the thing about college is a lot of you are away from home now. So now you got more freedom. More freedom is more time to bullshit. You got your own dorm room. It's girls around, or it might be dudes around if you're a girl. You got parties, sports. You got football games going on. You got all types of other events going on, and just stuff distracting you from the things you actually need to get done. I'm not saying that you don't have fun at all in the military, because I had a lot of fun while I was in. We had parties, we used to go out, we used to travel a lot, we used to take road trips, and I had a good time. But at the same time, during this, I was making money. So, and in my opinion, I feel like you have a lot more fun when you got a little bit of money on you. You can have fun broke, but when you can afford to actually take trips and buy things and eat nice food with your friends, I feel like it's a lot better than the other stuff. And I feel like a lot of people that join the military is going to be such a broad age range. Like, people might join at 18, people might join at 25. Some people even join in the mid 30s. And one thing about that is it'll surround you with like-minded people. It's like, one thing about everyone that joins, they wanted to get out of whatever situation they were in, and they wanted to set up their life. Versus you have some people, they go to college and it's really just like they're just going because that's what they're supposed to do, or they don't want to upset their parents, or they're going for a major that might not even actually end up getting them a job. And some people even just go to college just to party. And that's cool and all, but when we really zoom out and look ahead 10 years, will you really say that all this partying you did in college, was it worth it if you don't have a job and you didn't set yourself up for the future? No. So I don't even think you want to surround yourself around people that just go to college just to party. Now there is a lot of people that do go to college for the right reasons, but you got to find them. But I feel like you have a better opportunity of finding like-minded people in the military. I'm not trying to recruit you for the military. I got out personally for my own reasons, and I'm doing a lot better now than I was doing in the military. But I feel like the military is something that can really set people up to have a successful life going forward. Another thing the military gives you is guaranteed income. You get guaranteed income, guaranteed pay raises every year, and then on top of that, let's say you make rank. Like, I think it's your first 3 ranks. You start from E1, 2, and 3. E1, 2, 3, and 4 are guaranteed. You just got to be in. You guarantee E4 within 3 years if you come in with no rank. If you go to college for a little bit, if you got credits, you might come in as E2, E3. And let's say you do ROTC in high school, you come in as an E3. That's guaranteed money. You get money, they'll pay for your housing, they pay for your food. And this is a lot more than what you're getting if you go to college. You go to college, you're going to be broke, you're taking out loans, you're in debt, and you're not going to be able to pay off that debt until probably 5-6 years after you graduate college. And that's assuming you make large payments. If you're just paying the minimums, hey man, I don't know. This guaranteed income allows you to do what I'm going to talk about in step 2 as well. But going into one more thing that the military allowed me to do early on in my 20s is it allowed me to deploy. Now, when you deploy, you can go to a bunch of different places, but it's usually, a lot of times it's overseas in like a hostile environment, or maybe it's a place of danger, or it's just a place of interest that's not in the U.S. typically. Now, I do know some people that deploy to different areas in the U.S., but it's more for like humanitarian stuff. But me, I deployed to the Middle East, and what that allowed me to do is I got to break my apartment lease. I had a car lease at the time. I turned that in, and all I was doing during that deployment, I was working out, stacking money, and by the end of that deployment, I saved $25,000 at 21. Now imagine being 21 years old with $25,000 to your name, cash. If you go to college at 18, you might graduate at 21, $25,000 in debt just to pay for school. Just by joining the military and deploying, you automatically put yourself 10 steps ahead of whoever else is in your age group, and you can do a lot of things with that money. And one thing you can do with that $25,000 is going into step 2, investing. Investing is another thing I did at 18. So the military has something called the thrift savings plan. It's similar to like a 401k. It's just like the government's version of it. But you get a bunch of different funds. You invest whatever percentage of your paycheck into it, and you forget about it. So every paycheck, I might have $100 coming out or $200 coming out. You're not gonna miss that. You probably gonna blow it off on some dumb stuff anyway. And then that money goes into different funds, and those funds increase your money over time. I'm not here to give you a financial literacy lesson, but that's definitely one of the things to help you get up ahead of your peers. And you don't have to join the military to do it. You can start a Robinhood account, you can get a Fidelity account, and you can get a Roth IRA through them. If you start investing at the age of 18, it's compounding over the next 40, 50, 60 years. At the end of the day, one day you're going to be 50, 60 years old. So you might as well start saving now. There's a lot of people in your age group that's not thinking about saving money. They're not thinking about investing. They're not thinking about 60 years old because, let's be honest, like I was 18 too. I'm not really thinking about 60. I'm thinking about today. But I was thinking about 60. That's why I started investing. At the end of the day, you're going to get old one day, and you're going to look back and be grateful that you started investing at 18. Even if you don't really have a lot of money to invest at 18, invest something. You can invest in individual stocks also. Invest in crypto. I did a lot of crypto. Don't invest in like rug pools and meme coins and, well, I get you might be able to invest in some meme coins because some meme coins take off, but you really gotta learn risk management early on. I think the first time I really invested in like an individual stock or like a crypto or something was on deployment. And one of the first things I invested in was Ethereum, and then I bought a bunch of different stocks like airlines and stuff during the lockdown. And one thing that kind of blew my mind about investing that we really don't learn early on is you should invest when the market is crashing down. This is not financial advice, by the way. But I remember when I was deployed, I remember when the lockdown got first announced, the market crashed however many percent. But I remember one of the officers, one of the higher ups, they were kind of sitting in the office with me, and he was like, "Oh man, I just lost 40,000." And I was like, "Damn, that's crazy. Like, what you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm about to buy more." Also, one of my commanders, they ran in and she was like, "Oh, the stock market just crashed. Buy everything, buy everything." So I chased her down. I'm like, "What you mean? What you mean?" And she was like, "Buy everything." And I was just like, okay, I didn't even question it. But our brains are kind of trained to, if you see something going down, you want to stay away from it. Like, why would I want to invest in something that's falling down? Well, if you look at the stock market over the last however many years, it's just been going up. So if something's been continuously going up and it falls one time, you expect it to get back up. So you might as well invest in it while it's down. There's a bigger lesson than just a stock market in that. But being real, investing doesn't just stop with money. You can also invest in your body, invest in your nutrition. I started working out when I was like a teenager. Really a little bit before that because I did karate when I was little. I know a lot of dudes don't really do karate as kids. I mean, maybe they do. Nah, I don't think so. Most dudes is like, hooping and boxing and all that. But I was doing karate. But one thing karate taught me was coordination. It gave me flexibility. I know a lot of dudes that's 27, 28, they can't sit Indian style. They can't sit crisscross applesauce, on the floor with your legs crossed. But me, I can do that. There's a lot of dudes in their like late 20s, early 30s that can't even jump. But if you play a sport early or you do any type of flexibility with your body, different things like karate and stretching, it helps you take care of your body and you get mobility and a lot of things that hurt most people, it won't hurt you. Now, I'm not saying you got to do karate, but I'm saying different principles that karate will teach you is stuff that you can apply in your life today. You can just get up every morning, just do a simple, just go on YouTube, search up 10-minute stretch routine. Or you can just get up every morning, you stretch your neck on this side for 10 seconds, stretch this way for 10 seconds. You do a quad stretch, get on the floor, do a few push-ups, do some pull-ups. And working out is just like the stock market. Let's say you can do 5 push-ups today, next week you do 10 push-ups, then 15. 10 years go by, you can do 100 push-ups straight. It probably won't take that long, but that's the benefit of investing in yourself. You get to watch yourself grow over time. If you look good, you feel good. And another part of investing in your body is investing into your nutrition. I will stop eating fast food as soon as possible. I'm not saying that I don't ever eat fast food, but I rarely do. And if I do, it's like some weird craving. And once I eat it, I regret it. So I'm at the point now where I can really do away with it. But investing into your nutrition is going to make everything else come together. You're going to do better at work. You're going to wake up early and feel good. You're going to do better in school. You're going to be able to think straight. You're going to feel good. You're going to have a lot of energy. You won't be yawning throughout the day. I stopped eating chips probably in middle school, and I rarely eat candy. And I remember back in high school is when I really started drinking a gallon a day of water. Being hydrated every day makes you feel so good, and you have so much energy. And one thing you will notice is everyone around you is always tired. It might hit like 12 p.m. They're yawning, they're tired, or they might be, coked up off energy drinks. But if you've been taking care of yourself and eating the right food, you're going to feel good. You're going to look good. Because what you're going to see now is you might look good now, but let's say you hit 23, 24, 25, you're still eating the same stuff you've been eating when you was 15. You're going to start noticing a little pudge. You might grow some man boobs. You might not be able to see and you might get real winded walking upstairs. I know dudes that's way skinnier than me around my age. I'm 27, and they can't walk upstairs without getting winded. I know dudes my age with high blood pressure. You shouldn't have high blood pressure in your 20s. You shouldn't have high blood pressure at all. But that's what happens when you don't start taking care of yourself early. You need to cut out the fried foods, eat fruit, drink water, and just watch what you put in your body. It's not that complicated. Get you some vitamins. Take your vitamin D, get some sunlight, take some magnesium. Go on Google, check with your doctor, look up a YouTube video on nutrition. Just start somewhere. Take care of yourself. Going deeper into investing in yourself, I would invest in social skills. When I was in middle school, high school, especially high school, I couldn't talk to save my life. I had a speech class that I did good in, but I was always shy when it came to just talking to people and just striking up conversations. Striking up conversations can really get you into all types of different opportunities. It can also get you into a lot of BS, but if you learn how to navigate these social situations earlier, you can learn how to get out of these situations. Socializing is one of the reasons I have a good job now. Socializing is also one of the reasons I know people that can get me in different rooms that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get into. I've met friends in the most random places, and just going up to someone just be like, hey man, what's going on? How you doing? Or you might just go up to a dude just like ask him where you from. Like let's say for example you're in a big city and a lot of people move there. Most people in that city probably aren't from there. If you just go up to them like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's up? Like, where you from? Oh yeah, I'm from New York, blah, blah. What part of New York are you from, bro? And they might be like, oh, I'm from the Bronx. And you might say, oh, I know this content creator from the Bronx. And you start talking about that and you start saying, hey, what you doing out here? And just like that, you just made a new friend. And really, this can lead to anything. This person later down the line might be the reason you have a job. You never know who you're talking to. And also with investing in your social skills and just talking to people, you learn not to judge a book by its cover. Like, because you might meet somebody in your age group. Let's say you're 16 years old. You meet another 16-year-old. You're thinking like, oh, he's 16. What does he know? Well, that 16-year-old, he might have an online business. Or that 16-year-old's dad, he might have a boat. Or he's the CEO of some Fortune 500 company. And just because you know him, he helped you get an internship. And that internship later turned into a full-time offer. Now you got a 6-figure salary at 21 coming straight out of college while everyone else is just scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. You might even get the opportunity to get a paid internship in high school. I know people that have done that just off of having connections or being connected to someone else that is connected to someone else. This also helps because people like being around cool people. If someone feels like you won't mess up a vibe or they can bring you around people, they'll start inviting you and you can build your social circle. And this can help you if you wanted to, like, let's say you want to throw a party, you want to invite some people. Or let's say someone has a business idea and they're looking for someone that has whatever set of skills. And then the friend that you met in this random location, he's like, oh, I got a friend. And they suggest you. Investing in your social skills early can also help you identify people that you don't need to be around. A lot of what messes people up, not just in their 20s, but life in general, is they don't have a good judgment of character. Well, how would you have a good judgment of character if you don't talk to anybody? You wouldn't know if this person that's talking to you has good intentions, bad intentions, because you can't fill out a vibe. You can't read the room. But the more situations you put yourself in, the more opportunities you have to learn. Every day should be a new learning experience. Another thing is investing in skills. Investing in skills like certifications. Another thing I did was investing in skills. In this case, investing in work skills. For example, I wanted to work in tech, and I know one of the big certifications in tech is security. And I know one of the big certifications in tech is a Security Plus. Well, I went on my way. I registered for a boot camp. I attended the classes, looked at some YouTube videos. I studied some note cards, took my test, and got the certification. That certification helped me get internship offers, full-time job offers, and it's also a talking point for random people you might meet on the street. Tying back into my last point. You might meet a guy and he's like, hey, I'm in cybersecurity. And you'd be like, oh, I have my Security Plus. You feel me? And finally, on the investing side, similar to what I was saying before, but just general financial literacy, getting credit, saving money, knowing how to budget, paying bills, regular stuff. It might not be regular to you now, but eventually you're going to have to know how to do this stuff. The earlier of a head start you get on it, the further ahead you will be and the easier life will be. The last thing you want to be is a dude in their 30s that don't got the shit together. You don't want to be a person in general, man or woman, that don't got their shit together in their 30s. The last thing you want to be is an adult that doesn't have the shit together. You don't want to be the person in their 30s that's struggling to make ends meet. You don't want to be the person living paycheck to paycheck. You don't want to be staying with your mom in your 30s. Getting up on financial literacy earlier, investing in yourself, investing in your social skills, investing in your work skills, and just investing in yourself in general, this will make sure that you don't have to be that person that's 35 still trying to figure it out. And finally, one of the best things I ever did was leave home. Leaving home is something you don't even have to join the military to do. And leaving home doesn't even necessarily mean moving. You can just take a trip. Take a trip with your friends. Go out the country. Let's say you live in the South. You can take a cheap trip to Mexico. Flights from Texas to Mexico are like $200. You leave your hometown, you go to a different country, you get to experience different cultures. And that just ties back into the stuff I was talking about with joining the military. This gets you out your comfort zone and it forces you to talk to people that you wouldn't otherwise talk to. The only way I really feel to get the full experience of this, though, is to actually move and leave your hometown. This actually puts you in that same mindset the military puts you in, like, oh, it's just me, I'm on my own. I don't really have anyone here to help me. If something happens, I have to figure it out. Or just something as simple as, oh, my tire is flat, let me go in the trunk and get my spare tire. Now I gotta figure out how to change my tire. It's simple stuff, but a lot of people don't know how to do it. A lot of people don't know how to set up a jack. A lot of people don't even know how to put on a spare tire. A lot of people don't even know what a spare tire is. But let's say you're somewhere with your friends, or you might be with your older relative, and your tire goes flat. You want to be the person that has a solution to their problems. You want to be able to be the person that can help everybody. You having a simple skill like changing a tire, you might have just saved somebody money, panic, stress, all types of stuff. Leaving home also forces you to develop those social skills I was talking about on my last point. If you're not at home, you have no choice but to talk to other people. You got to talk to the servers at restaurants. You got to talk to the people at the takeout place. You got to talk to your apartment leasing office. You got to talk to the person that's in your way. You got to talk to someone just for the sake of talking, because if you just sit at home by yourself, you're going to lose your mind. So you're going to have to go out there and talk to somebody. Can't get a job if you're not talking. You can't make money if you're not talking. You can't start a business if you're not talking. You can't make a YouTube channel if you're not talking. And one thing, if you want to be a YouTuber, for example, that'll help you. And one thing, if you want to be a YouTuber, for example, that'll help you talk on camera. If you go talk to other people, what's talking to a camera? It's a machine device, like it's a camera. Leaving home also forces you to develop those adult skills early. Something as simple as cooking. It's people in their mid-20s that have never cooked for themselves in their life. There is something wrong with that. You should be able to feed yourself as an adult. DoorDash and takeout shouldn't be your only source of food. You need to be able to make breakfast. You need to be able to make you a home-cooked meal. You need to be able to make those same recipes your mom made, because once your parents are gone and you don't have that recipe, it's gone. And just because you didn't take the time to ask your mom, hey, how do you make your spaghetti? Now when you go on through life, you will never have that spaghetti again. You love that spaghetti. Cook the spaghetti. My final point on leaving home, it just gets you out of your norm. It gets you to experience different. It just gets you out of your norm. I'm from the Midwest. I've lived on the West Coast, and I currently live in the South. And this is probably like my third state I've lived in, and like my fourth city. And one thing I'll tell you is every city is different. But I feel like the state that gave me the culture shock the most is moving to Texas. Moving to Texas, they got Southern hospitality. That's something I'm not used to back home. Back home, we mind our business, and we probably won't speak to each other if we walk by you in the street. Out here, they'll wave at you and they'll strike up a whole conversation. They might invite you over for some food, but that's just something you might not be used to. But that might be something you learn from somewhere else that you can take back home. You can implement it within your family or within your friend group. It's just something to think about. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I know everything, but I know a couple things, and I definitely know a lot more than I did when I was 18. If you follow these 3 things, I guarantee it'll be night and day the type of person you are. Everything I mentioned is so simple. You can start the second you click off this video. You can do it while you're watching the video. But other than that, if you like this, subscribe to the channel. Peace. It's up.